Hello everyone, welcome back to ACL Stands. In this episode I'm going to be hopefully repairing this Samsung BX2450 monitor that I picked up for $30. It's a one of the Syncmaster range. It has the 2 millisecond response time, so this is actually quite a nice little, I guess this would have been a good gaming monitor. I think it's a 75 Hertz. I'm going to see if I can fix this. I think I'm going to have to pull this one apart. He said that it was randomly powering on and off, so that gives me an idea of what it kind of might be. The first thing I like to do is test the power packs and make sure that I'm getting a constant voltage here. First of all, I'm going to inspect this cable. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a wiggle here just to... The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a multimeter on here and check if this is in fact delivering the 14 volts that it says it's doing. Okay, so to test the power pack here, I've just got the positive in here and I've got the negative on the shield at the top here, and we should be able to get a reading, definitely getting 14 volts. So I'm just going to leave this for a little while. Replacement power pack that he's put here, that he said that he bought, so it's not the original one, but from what I can see there it seems to be fine. I've got this plugged in now and you can see I am getting something on the screen. Now I'm just going to keep an eye on that light and see what happens. I'm going to move the power supply around. Okay, so there's nothing on this side of the power supply. Just going to go have a look at the connection here at the back. Okay, so that just went off. Okay, and it's come back on again. Problem with the connection. This may not involve too much. I want to inspect the board anyhow. Okay, so this is pretty big here, so I'm going to try and fit it all in now. I've had a look at the service manual, and it tells you how to disassemble the monitor. Okay, so I've removed the stand at the bottom here. So the first thing we need to do is remove this front bezel, and that's how most of these monitors disassemble. So what I usually do is I grab it in the middle here. You can see this is on the top. I've got my cloth gloves here, and these come in really handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my hands up under here and try and separate this, and we need to basically separate all around here and remove the front cover. So you sort of have to push down towards this way and then sort of lever it up. So I'm just going to continue going around here, and again I'm going to be sort of pulling towards me. I've got my thumbs under here and I'm pushing it. Okay, so I've just gone around, started at the middle, went around here, then I went around this side, and then did this section here, and we should be just about off. Okay, yep. We have the panel, and if we have a look, I'm just going to turn this over. Okay, so in order for me to get into here and have a look at this board, I'm going to have to remove these two little bolts here for the VGA cable, and should be able to, that piece should just slide off. Now the first thing I noticed when I took this board off was that VGA connector and how rusted it is. I mean, this thing's, yeah, I mean, I'll just zoom in a little bit to see if you can see that. Yeah, this has gotten moisture in here, or was moisture on the VGA plug when they fitted it in, or something like that. What I need to do is take off these two bolts here. Now the rest of the plugs look okay. They don't have any rust on them. So the next thing we need to do here is remove this shield. We should be able to get to the thing, but what I'll have to do here is take out all these connections here, and then I can spin it around and have a look. So what I'm using here is some mobile phone tools and groove on it, and these are good for removing these type of connections on here. So what you need to do here is just put it on each side of a handle and just lever it out. What I would suggest here is taking a picture of everything before you remove any of this stuff here, but certain how this can go. There's only really 3 cables here, so you can't really get confused here because they really just don't reach So in order to remove this board, I've taken out that top plug here. Again, you'll have to lever that out. Just use a small screwdriver. We can turn this around now. Now, the ribbon cable's still connected here, but that should be okay. I'm just going to push down on this VGA connector here. What that's going to do is push the whole board sort of on an angle, so you can see it comes up on this side here, and I'll just keep pushing that, and we should be able to get that out. Now, I've still got the ribbon cable connected here. You really do want to remove that ribbon cable. You have this little black piece that's on top here, and you'll have to get a little screwdriver here and just lever that up. Pull that up, then you should release it, and then you can pull out the connection. So you should be able to pull that board straight out. First thing I've noticed, without even looking at this underneath the microscope, is I can see there's heat being generated. So just here, there's a lot of heat being generated off these ICs here, 601 and 602. There's a little bit of corrosion coming up on these HDMI cables. The issue here is something to do with this connection here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resolder these connections here and test it out again and see if that works. Okay, so I've been playing around with this now for quite some time. So I've gone back and taken this connection off here. If I have a look down here, I can see that this sort of just came straight off when I started heating up underneath to remove it. That it's broken off the main connection piece here, and I think there is actually a little bit of corrosion just at the very base section there that connects onto the positive. Just completely snapped off. So maybe that wasn't making enough connection, and like I said, there is a little bit of rust on top of that. He started corroding that connection. Anyhow, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect up a plug, maybe just bodge wire this out here, then I can just connect a normal 2.1 mil connection there, if I was just able to run that out like that. So I'm going to test that out, see how that goes. I've made a new connector here. What I'll do is I'll connect it up onto this one, and then I'll obviously heat shrink it and fix it all up, but make sure I've got the positive and negative connected to positive negative on this one. So what I'm going to do here is connect this up and test it out and see if that fixes the issue. You should always double check and just make sure everything's right. We should have ground and this shielding, yes, and we should have the volts on the center. Okay, so that's good. So let's make sure this one is matching here, so it has the volts on the positive and negative. Okay, fingers crossed that this works. Okay, so moment of truth, let's plug it in and see, here we go. Yes, we've got something coming up here. So we can got signal cables, so I'm just going to play around here and see this is working now. I'm just moving the board around a little bit here just to make sure that there's nothing else. Could be it, I think. Okay, so I'm going to put all this back together, then I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up. So there you go, that was a problem with the positive connection at the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back together, clear some of that corrosion off that plug, VGA plug as well. Yeah, give the whole thing a big clean up, and then I might have to paint that stand because corroding or something, I guess, on the top there. So I'll have to clean that all up and see if it comes off. If it doesn't, then I really don't want silver anyhow. I would prefer black. So, well, I wouldn't say a quick fix because it did take me a long time to figure out what was going on, but I was definitely working in the right place with the plug. This is a real pain in the ass to actually get off the board because it actually has two sections here where it connects on, and then you have to remove the positive and then also remove the ground as well. So there's like about 4 pins that are actually into the board. I'll just mount that connection that I've got on there to the back of the monitor when I put it all back together. Okay, sorry, the last thing I want to show here before I end this video was how to clean up this VGA connector, and had a lot of rust and corrosion, and you can see on here. What I usually do, if it's got rust on it, then I use a little bit of WD-40, more screwdriver. WD here, make sure you get a rag as well. And what I want to do here is I'm just going to scrape that rust on the top. Anyhow, so it's starting to look much better now, so I'm just going to go over it a little bit more. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get some rubbing alcohol here, and I'll just give the board a bit of a clean. What I've done is I've just given this a bit of a sand here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this black, so it's going to be completely black sand. Okay, so a quick summary of what's happened here. So as I suspected, it wasn't the power plug. The power plugs are pretty good. Like I said, I put the multimeter on this, and this was getting a constant voltage of the 14 volts. The ground pin that I thought might have been cracked, which was my initial idea, but that was okay as well. That was getting continuity, and the culprit ended up being the actual plug, so I had to pull this plug right out. I'm just going to wait for this stand to dry because I've resprayed that black. Then I can take this upstairs and test it out, see how it goes. Okay, so there's a quick look at the painted stand. Just matte black. Just used an enamel paint on that. Give it a bit of a sand up first, and then just coated that up. So that should look pretty nice with the monitor now. So here's a look at the power cord, and this is fixed up here. I've just used some really good tape. Saved myself buying a whole new power pack here as well, just by doing that little mod. Get a heap of these connectors too off eBay, and the cheap as. Yeah, cheap and easy way to mod the connectors there. So that's it for this episode. Monitor's working fine. I've had it on for a few hours. Something that if you have an issue with your monitor, think it's the power pack, then it possibly might be the power pack, but it also might be that plug. Pretty sure Samsung probably would have had a lot of these plugs made. It's definitely going to be on other models as well. But definitely a big improvement to my old Dell 22-inch here. That the LED backlit is just really great. Really nice upgrade for cheap if you're willing to just put a little bit of time in and do a little bit of a fix-up. So that's it for this episode. Stay safe, and as always, I'll see you on the next project.